guys. Hello. Today, I want to show you a day in my life in Spanish school in Spain. Look at the atmosphere. Look at the atmosphere. You see that? You see? Here, I take my classes, Spanish classes. So you will now, and as the reason why I'm sharing this with you, so that you will not make mistake like this while preparing to travel. When you are planning to travel to another country, try to put all this into consideration. How long it will take you to learn another language in order for you to be good enough and prepare you, because when your language barrier has a lot to do, when you cannot express yourself with the language of any country you are travel to you are planning to stay, when you cannot speak their language, that will also be another barrier. So that is why you hear the word language barrier. It has a lot to do. So whenever you are planning to travel to another country, try to put all this into consideration. Try as much as possible to put all this. How long it will take you? How long it will take you to learn their language? How long it will take you to fit into the systems? All these are what you must put into consideration. And other thing you have to put into other thing you will put into consideration is also this. Put into consideration. So put their language into consideration and their system and what I was also listening to Femi Denok. Listen to her talking about the new immigration policy they are cooking. So all this, just listen to that.
At this point in the cycle, the government would be doing well. So we've got to fight for every single vote, remind people about our record and how well we have done at local government level, that this is not a referendum on national issues, but local ones.
OK, and before Ed takes over this part of the interview, I just want to ask, you sort of dismiss the idea that immigration isn't a factor in these local elections. But I imagine if Reform were here talking to you, they would say a lot of voters think that the pressure on our public finances is because levels of immigration are way too high. And the way that they got too high was under a Conservative government. So what is your answer to that?
My answer is that immigration is too high. We have to bring it down. And this is one of the things which I have acknowledged we got wrong in the past. I wasn't in charge of immigration, but I take responsibility.
So what's your policy? What would you change?
So several things. I've said that we need a hard cap on numbers. We've announced a policy on indefinite leave to remain, stopping that conveyor belt to British citizenship, saying that people who come to this country have to be net contributors.
What would your hard cap be to you? They would say a lot of voters think that the pressure on our public finances is because levels of immigration are way too high. And the way that they got too high was under a Conservative government. So what is your answer to that?
My answer is that immigration is too high. We have to bring it down. And this is one of the things which I have acknowledged we got wrong in the past. I wasn't in charge of immigration, but I take responsibility.
So what's your
for my
policy?
party.
What would you change?
So several things. I've said that we need a hard cap on numbers. We've announced a policy on indefinite leave to remain, stopping that conveyor belt to British citizenship, saying that people who come to this country have to be net contributors.
What would your hard cap be?
Not people who are actually taking away from the state, and not people who are actually taking away from the state, and not people who are actually taking away from the state, and not people who are actually taking away from the state. And
you just listen to that. So as you are leaving your place of origin, they are expecting you in where you are going to come and contribute. Put all this into consideration. Put all this into consideration. Consider it like this: when you are not able to speak people's language perfectly, that way it will limit a lot of things. Yeah, you so you put all this, especially we in a country, Africa country, English speaking Africa country, put all this into consideration. The country you are going, how long are you going to learn their language? How long are you going to be fit into the system? How old are you? How old are you? All this. So why thinking about how you are going to jackpot, how you are going to travel to other man's land, you know, all this you are going to put in put all this into consideration. Pay to you, especially your age. And it's not encouraging when you are above 40 to be thinking of how to leave your country to another country that you are not speaking their language. That is just red flag. Depend if you are going there, maybe a business you are taking business trip to another mass country, or working, or you have work is already guaranteed. That is another matter entirely. That is different. That is different. But when you are not, work is not guaranteed, you know, job is not guaranteed, and where you are going to be staying is not guaranteed, and this nothing is guaranteed, and just want to jackpot. You put all this into consideration first. It's very important. Especially, you also think about your age. I always repeat that. Think about how old are you? When you are above 40, put all this into consideration. Put all this into consideration before thinking of how to run away from your country. And also have to think about the relationship your country also has. Your country has with this country you are running to. If your country don't have a good relationship with any country you are running to, you have to think twice. If you are thinking now that there's conflict in all over the world, almost many countries has conflict. So consider all of this. What kind of relationship your country has with the country you are running to. So put all this into consideration, and your age. Why thinking of running or why thinking of traveling to another country? Put the language aspects and the relationship of your country and that country. Put all this into consideration. Your age, the language, and the relationship of your country and that country. All this you have to put all this into consideration before thinking of selling your assets. Many people sell their house, they sell their land property, they sell everything. Does it worth it? So you compare it, because before taking action, compare the consequences. So when the consequences, you are do the comparison. When you now notice that the action will be is not going to be comfortable with you at the end. You better not take it when you saw that the consequence is going to be is going to be bad. The consequences of that action is not going to be enjoyable to you. Then you better not take it. How can your age, language barrier, no relationship that will guarantee you the access of whenever you are in need of any documents, you see to that. Maybe you are in need of any documents related to your working services or your regardless of anything. Just put all this into consideration. Because when it comes to look at it, most cases, especially we the Nigerians, we the Africans, we don't even put all this into consideration. We just say, all the name of, I want to travel, I want to jack back. At the end, you'll be struggling. And life is not about struggling. It's about calculation. So, I just have to say this to somebody. Maybe this will also encourage somebody or enlighten somebody. Thank you, and bye.